Dear Cameron, American media scholar Henry Jenkins once said, "The worst thing a kid can say about homework is that it's too hard. The worst thing a kid can say about a video game is that it's too easy." Dear Cameron and all fellow imposters, in the recent weeks, my son has taken his first steps in what may become a lifelong journey. The experiences he has and the people he meets may shape who he becomes and how he views the world. Dear Cameron, my son has started playing video games. I've been playing video games since literally before I can remember. Some of my earliest memories are of computer games I would play on our Windows 95. And looking back at the influence they've had on me, I have come to a conclusion. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the concepts introduced to me through video games. At their core, pretty much all video games operate with the same underlying ideas. And it's those ideas that I want to explore today. Ideas that I'm gonna argue we should start using IRL. Let's begin.
Number 1, objectives.
Even in the most basic games, you are presented with an objective, some goal that you must complete. Now, when my family and I moved to Oregon, we didn't have hardly any money to our names. We were pretty much starting from scratch. And I remember waking up on our second day in Oregon was one of the scariest times in my life. Here I was with no money in an entirely new place, and I had 30 days to come up with rent. And I'll tell you straight up, I panicked. I freaked out. But strange things happen in the mind sometimes when you are that scared. Suddenly, my focus shifted, and there might as well have been a little graphic that popped up that said,
Quest started. New objective. Get 950 gold by end of month.
And suddenly I could think. Things weren't as scary. And the moment I thought about my current situation as a video game, I calmed down and I got to work. And what's even cooler is that months later, you, Cameron, had the same experience without me even telling you about my weird coping mechanism. So, fellow imposters, when you get way overwhelmed, just think, what is your quest?
What is your quest?
And what is your objective?
Number 2, level grinding.
In video games, level grinding is the act of performing repetitive actions over and over just to build up experience points and increase your character's level. It takes time and it can be pretty boring, but the payoff is usually so worth it. If you do it enough, you can just breeze through what are usually supposed to be very difficult levels. So we all know that life is the same way. Practicing and working at a skill isn't always fun or easy, but take it from someone who is addicted to real life level grinding. It works just as well in real life as it does in video games, but in real life it is so much more rewarding.
Number 3, boss levels.
Boss levels are the hardest levels. It might be against one really big bad guy or just swarms of little minions. But somehow the moment that you recognize that you are in a boss level, all of your frustration seems justified. And you usually don't get frustrated at yourself because you know that you aren't to blame. This level is supposed to be hard. It's a boss level. When we find ourselves in boss levels in our real life, we don't give enough credit to the level. We blame ourselves. We think that there's something wrong with us. So just think the next time that you are in a challenging situation, just call it what it is. A challenge. Change your mindset and know that if you fail a couple of times, it just means that you really have to focus. So keep trying and kick some ass. And I could keep going and going with these ideas like achievements and checkpoints and power-ups and how is it so easy to save money in Skyrim, but in real life I just keep buying chocolate. But I'll end with just one more thing. Take a quick listen to this great point made by master comedian Dara O'Brien.
Video games do a thing that no other industry does. You cannot be bad at watching a movie. You cannot be bad at listening to an album. But you can be bad at playing a video game, and the video game will punish you and deny you access to the rest of the video game. No other art form does this. You've never been reading a book and 3 chapters in, the book has gone, what are the major themes of the book so far? And you've gone, well, I don't know. For fuck's sakes!
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think the reason we keep trying in video games is because if we give up, the video game is over. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. If we give up, we don't get to know the rest of the story. We don't get answers to whatever it is that we want to know. It just stops until we pick up the controller again and just get through it. And in kind of an existential way, I think life is the same way. If we come face to face with an obstacle and don't surpass it, I think we just stop right there. And I think we all know people in our lives who got to level 25 or level 40 or level 300, but then just stopped when the boss was too big. And who knows what answers or new characters or abilities or side quests or level ups were right on the other side of that boss battle. If you stop playing the game, then how do you move forward? And so, dear Cameron and all fellow imposters, let's get out there and start leveling up.